This is my first time teaching an LC at HCC or anywhere. I have done collaborative team teaching before, but never in a college classroom like this, and I am loving it. It is re-energizing all of my work. It is renewing, encouraging, and exciting, and I get to partner with an experienced LC professor who was already famous about it before we got to teach together, so I knew it would be fun. And I, today in class, mentioned to the students how impressed we have been with their interactions with each other, unprompted, just communicating together, even during breaks, staying to talk to each other. And the way that they connect is unlike any other kind of connection, and it is very exciting to see. I have always been interested in team teaching. I absolutely believe in the benefits and the effects, both for the students and the teachers, for the connections you can make between the curriculum areas and the expanded and deeper learning. I was not able to because another faculty member was teaching one already. And so I did my best to support that with advising and recommending to students. And so with staffing changes, I was able to go ahead and start teaching one and jumped at the opportunity. And I am so glad I did.
I'm Carolyn Wetzel, and I'm faculty in the biology department. And so for me, setting up to do an LC with somebody in a different discipline means that I also have to bring a lab along with the course, because all of our courses are lab science courses, which can be a bit of a challenge if you're in STEM. But on the other hand, it's a really great opportunity to break away from the standard lab that all of the other sections of the course are teaching and try out really, fun new things. So I've taught two different kinds of LCs. One, I taught a majors biology class, intro bio, with a statistics course that our majors are required to take. And the topic for that one was disease and risk, epidemiology in particular. And timing-wise, it was about when there was a big Ebola breakout, and so we could follow that, and we could bring stuff in along that line. And that was good. It was a little bit more like linked courses than I would say an actual LC. And so that was my first experience. And I'm like, okay, LCs, they're okay. They're okay. And for various reasons, we ended up not teaching it again. The other person ended up leaving and everything like that, leaving HCC. But then it seems like every time you're at a meeting or a topic comes up, it's like, oh, that would be a great topic for an LC. We just need to find somebody. Oh, that would be a great LC. Because you find a subject that you're really interested in, that you want to develop a whole course around, but you know that you can't just put a whole new course through curriculum and try to get it in the catalog and get people to take it. And so then you find somebody else who's interested in that same topic, and you can do this LC. And it's a great way to be able to focus on these topics. So I've taught this other LC twice with Vanessa Martinez in anthropology, with a non-majors bio course and an intro anthro course. And that subject has been race, skin deep. And so we actually go through the anthropology, the cultural, social history associated with race and racism, and then we also go through the biology aspects of that. And so I was able to redesign a whole semester of labs based around those topics, which was absolutely fantastic.
I had done linked teaching before I came to HCC, and one of the things that really attracted me, and I started teaching here in 1994, so I've been around for a while. One of the things that really attracted me, in those days we got a packet, from the college, and it included material on the Learning Communities program. So I was pretty excited to think about coming somewhere where we were going beyond just the linked classes and now into really trying to integrate material. And I've had the good fortune in my career here to taught and learned from a phenomenal variety of great instructors. As I was looking at these 5 fabulous reasons, Well, the second, grow as a teacher, definitely occurred to me. I mean, I've in many forums said that learning communities are the best professional development that this college provides. And, I would stick by that in any forum with any administrators, because it's a regular, daily, ongoing. April and I had never worked before. We met every week last semester for an hour and a half. We text back and forth. So, you're just always learning new techniques, new information.
Because for me, one of the most powerful experiences that I've had teaching learning communities is learning from students. So I want to foreground that, because that's what happens in that dynamic of community and family and support, is that you're sitting in this connected group of people, and people start to feel comfortable. They feel smart, which is one of the great things about learning communities, because everybody comes in and you're supported and you're smart. And you start sharing ideas, and oftentimes I would find myself sitting back with my teaching partner going, just let this go. Just let this go, because there's so many great ideas that are coming out at this moment. And I'm learning something because everybody has their different perspective, and the students are engaged. And I can't even tell you how many times I've been in a learning community where the class has technically ended and the students won't leave. And I love it, because it's like, oh, we got to go, actually. There are other people waiting. But that to me that's my wow moment. And it happens a lot in learning communities. It actually happens pretty often. And I think the other inspiration and connection I feel is that, I think this is related to a couple of points, and Jaleesa, I know this was you, is I can't tell you how many times students come into learning communities thinking they're not smart or they're not confident. And we see something completely different than you see. We're like, oh yeah, totally you are, And I think what happens in a learning community is it brings it out. The confidence comes out, your ideas are important, and you begin to learn that and know that your ideas are important. And I've seen so many students sort of start hesitant and then go. Master, like just what you're saying, Mark. I mean, we're all in touch with students, which is great. And they're all over the world. They're doing amazing things. Every now and then, this email will pop into my inbox, and I got one last year, I think, and this student said, oh, I just want to let you know I've started a domestic abuse shelter in Seattle, but I remember learning communities, and that was when I got confident about wanting to do something. And that story is not uncommon. Yeah. I think what's challenging is it's hard to capture in data, right? Like, these are life stories and transformative stories. Yeah. But they're a very human story.
One of the things I learned from one of my students in a linked class in Florida, she told me later, I was thinking about dropping that class the first day of class, and someone asked a question and you said, that's a good question. I don't know what the answer is. And she said, I had never heard a teacher admit that they didn't know something, so that we had to unlearn, unknow, undisciplined. Oh, that's a question that belongs to this discipline. It doesn't go over here. But many questions obviously cross lots of boundaries between disciplines.
If it weren't for LCs, I would not be interacting with people from outside of my department very much, or outside of my division. So the fact that we're combining these different disciplines and looking at a common question or problem from different viewpoints is really great.
Nowhere is it more urgent to create a sense of community than in a community college, because students don't live on campus. So I think learning communities are a powerful tool to build that sense of belonging, build that sense of community among students and among professors as well. I've taught several learning communities, some with English language things and some with Spanish language things. But I remember more than once, there will be a paper due at Friday at 9 a.m. And so at 9:05, student A shows up and says, and by the way, don't grade down so-and-so because they were up all night writing this paper. They're not defending themselves, and I'm like, well, how do you know? Oh, because we were on Facebook all night trying to help each other finish this paper, advocating for each other. And I found that so moving, and the community with other faculty as well. Not just with the faculties that I've taught learning communities with, but with everybody that teaches learning communities. It's a larger community of connections that when we have all faculty meetings and things like that, it just really gives you a bridge among everybody. And I think a community college is an ideal place to use that and reinforce it, right? Support it, reinforce it, and use it as a tool to build community.